Good morning and welcome to this regular session, Grant County Commissioners meeting. The Board of Commissioners is officially out of recess. Today, the prayer will be led by Commissioner Poling with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Stewart. If you would stand.
Heavenly Father, we come for you this day. Help us make the right decisions for this county. Get us all on the same team, and those who don't want to be on the team, open the door and show them where they can be used best. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen.
Please join me and face the flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, gentlemen. We'll move on to the approval of claims. Claims dated June 9th, 2025. Pre-approval was given June 9th, 2025. General Fund, $303,433.36. Highway, $14,727.46. Other, $28,601.99. Grand total, $346,762.81. Are there any questions or comments? If not, I'd entertain a motion to ratify.
Second.
I have a motion to ratify claims dated June 9th, 2025. I have a motion from Commissioner Poling, a second from Commissioner Stewart. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Thank you, sir. Motion carries. We'll move on to claims dated June the 16th, 2025. General Fund, $160,119.20. Highway, $140,366.03. Other, $116,404.58. A grand total of $416,889.81. Is there a motion to approve claims dated June the 16th, 2025?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion from Commissioner Poling, a second from Commissioner Stewart to approve claims dated June the 16th, 2025. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We'll move on to the payroll. Payroll number 12, pre-approval was given 6/4/2025. The pay date was 6/6/2025. The gross amount, $703,447.77. Need a motion to ratify payroll number 12.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion from Commissioner Poling, a second from Commissioner Stewart to ratify and approve payroll number 12. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Payroll's approved. We'll move on to the minutes. You have minutes from the special session 5/28/25. Are there any questions or comments or corrections to the minutes dated May 28th, 2025?
I'll make a motion that we approve minutes dated May 28th, 2025.
Second.
I have a motion from Commissioner Stewart, a second from Commissioner Poling to approve the minutes from the special commissioner session dated May the 28th, 2025. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Those minutes are approved. We'll move on to the minutes regarding Commissioner's regular session of June the 2nd, 2025.
President, I had one minor correction from the minutes in my packet. You were not here, and it's the minutes are saying that Commissioner Middlesworth recessed the meeting, and that should be me. Other than that, I didn't see any other changes.
There's no other changes. I'd entertain a motion to approve the regular session, June the 2nd, 2025.
So moved.
I'll second.
You're welcome.
I have a motion from Commissioner Poling, a second from Commissioner Stewart to approve the Grant County Commissioner regular session meeting of June the 2nd, 2025, noting the change in the second to last line, Commissioner Stewart recessed the meeting at 10:31 a.m. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. I will abstain since I wasn't there. But the minutes are approved. I believe we're on to monthly reports. We'll move on to communication and board updates. Are there any elected officials or boards, committee members, or special committees that want to give the commissioners an update? You come to the podium. Not seeing anyone. I'll move on to item number 7, the EMA report. Mr. Jackson.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Well, we had quite a bit of rain this past weekend. Actually, it was needed in some areas, not to the amount that we got, but for the most part, we did have some field flooding. Some of the minor streams, 26, and I know the county highway department was out putting out some high water signs in a few places. Overall, the river did reach action stage, which is 9 feet Saturday afternoon. Didn't require us to take any action at that point. It crested pretty much at that time. So unless you have questions, that's pretty much all we got. We are watching a possibility of storms Wednesday. So just a reminder to the public to make sure that you are able to receive alerts because it's Wednesday evening, Wednesday night, overnight. So.
Are there any questions?
No, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll move on to the central dispatch report. Mr. Hicks?
Good morning. So month to date, we've had 1,266 911 calls. We had 1,716 administrative calls. That resulted in 4,571 police calls, 341 fire calls, and 556 EMS calls. We currently have 15 dispatchers with 6 part-timers. That gives us 3 full-time openings. We do have 2 that completed their training and are on their own. We have 1 who is in training doing quite well. We interviewed 2 weeks or a week before last. I had them in for their job shadow. So we're going to be moving at least one of those on to the testing. And then we have 2 others that have tested. So once we get the 3rd one tested, we'll evaluate and go from there. Just want to let you know that Marlena and I will be going to Indianapolis tomorrow and Wednesday for our Cushing Conference user updates. So we'll be out of town for that. I would like to ask, is the per diem been raised to $60 or can we raise that to $60 to, it's been at 26 since I've been here. I don't know if that's something that takes.
I know that's something that we're gonna look at raising,
Okay.
but, I mean, I think the correct process would probably be bringing it forward with some other policy book amendments at this time.
Correct. Okay. Alrighty, any questions for me?
Definitely something on our radar.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll move on to the IT report.
Nothing really new to, no real news to give you at this time, other than we're starting to roll out the new computers. We started out rolling them out with the patrol, just because their laptops in the cars, those were a little banged up and rough, so we started with them. And so far, we only ran into one little issue with their mapping software, but other than that, it's been going good.
Thank you, Marcus.
Yep.
We'll move on to the highway department report. Mr. White?
Morning.
We appreciate you hanging in there this weekend, Friday, and getting it done.
Yeah, that was a good day. So
Update you on a few things. I do have a covered bridge certification. This is done through the state, and we're just basically saying that we have one covered bridge in Grant County. And then we'll receive a check for like $1,950, I believe. So, and we are going to have to do some repair work on that this year. So if you'd like to approve this and have your sign at the bottom, please, below your name.
Need a formal motion to approve.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I would entertain a motion to approve the covered bridge certification.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
I have a motion from Commissioner Stewart, a second from Commissioner Poling to approve and authorize us to sign the covered bridge certification. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you.
Okay. To update you on the countywide auction we had last Friday that Mr. Pulling was talking about, I kind of did some little bit of paperwork on, we received $29,439.90 for the county. I believe $9,943.45 will go to the highway. That was our portion. Just kind of give you a ballpark. I got to do a little more checking, make sure we're accurate on everything. So we pretty much got rid of everything, and we gave them till this Wednesday to pick up any articles that they didn't get to get Friday. So pretty good sale. Had quite a few people. Rain maybe hindered it a little bit, but it wasn't too bad. So any questions on that? Or
I know I obviously went out there. I appreciate all your work. I know there's a lot of time involved in getting that ready, and I think it makes me feel cleaner, that a lot of junk's been moved out of our buildings, and they should be a little safer and healthier. And
yep.
And again, we appreciate all your work putting that on.
Like I said, and what don't get picked up, we'll disregard it, either scrap metal or dumpster or whatever it takes, so we'll get rid of it. So we did receive our 2 Chevy pickup trucks that we had ordered last week. So now we've got all 4 vehicles in stock, and we're having the radios installed today for them. I wanted to make sure, is it all right if I have some graphics put on the side with our name and maybe some reflective tape to be safe out on the road? I just want to make sure that's all right with you, Sheriff.
No problem. Yeah, absolutely.
We paved 100 south and 125 south, the area between 5 and 700 west, about a week ago. And so we're working on that. That was pug mix that we put down, and we're still working on doing some more roads with that. So,
Do you have a list that you can provide us? I know that's one of the questions. I get asked a lot, like, what roads are next as far as, what's going to be paved.
I could do that. So
Appreciate that.
that's all I have today, unless you don't have anything. So.
No.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Next item is the human resource report.
Hello, everyone. We have 12 full-time openings right now. All of those, the majority of those are posted on our county page. New one that just came up today would be in the assessor's department for an appraiser, and it is not yet posted, but will be shortly. Just want to remind everyone that the council did enact a hiring freeze effective July 1, with the exception of the 911 call center and the jail for public safety. That's all I have.
Any questions? No. Thank you.
Thank you.
So we'll move on to the first item under old business, adoption of resolution, multi-hazard mitigation plan, EMA, Mr. Jackson.
So we are getting near the end of finalizing this project. It's been several years in the making. One of the things we have to do, the plan was adopted by FEMA. We did get their approval. Indiana Department of Homeland Security has approved it as well to make that final in the event that something should happen in the county. We have a disaster where we need to get public assistance funds reimbursed, or even just for a mitigation project such as flooding, those kind of things. In order to receive federal funds, the county has to have adopted this in an official resolution. So what I did was I used the exact same language that we used in 2017, the last time that this was done. So I have that resolution here before you if you would like to adopt that. And that gives us the ability then to, I'll have to go to each jurisdiction in the county, city and town, and they will have to do the same thing. Not that they're required to, but they're, again, if they ever want federal funding, it is a requirement for them to have adopted it. Questions or?
We have a resolution number.
Number 1.
That's something I can fill out on the top of this. 2025-1.
Other questions or comments from the attorneys? I'll just go ahead and read it real quick. It's a short one. It says, Resolution Number 1, 2025, adopting the Grant County Multi-Hazardous Mitigation Plan, whereas Grant County recognizes the threat that natural hazards pose to people and property, and whereas undertaking hazard mitigation actions before disaster occurs will reduce the potential for harm to people and property and save taxpayer dollars. And whereas an adopted multi-hazardous mitigation plan is required as a condition of future grant funding for mitigation projects, and whereas Grant County participated jointly in the planning process with the other local units of government within the county to prepare a multi-hazard mitigation plan. Now therefore be it resolved that the Grant County Board of Commissioners hereby adopt the Grant County Multi-Hazardous Mitigation Plan as an official plan, and be it further resolved that the Grant County Emergency Management Agency will submit on behalf of the participating municipalities the adopted multi-hazard mitigation plan to the Indiana Department of Homeland Security and the Federal Emergency Management Agency for final review and approval. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 1-2025.
Second.
I have a motion from Commissioner Stewart, a second from Commissioner Polling to approve Resolution 1-2025. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Do you have a document that you want to sign, or do you need me to provide you one?
I think if you want to use mine,
Yeah, just you.
my file's not very big.
Sorry.
Just also so you know, we are finalizing the reimbursement part of that. This is about $18,000. The county was required to have a $6,000 in-kind match, and we exceeded that by plenty. So we should be good. So you can get that, and Monitor will provide that information to you as well. Questions about that process or what we do next?
You're gonna take care of filing that?
Yes,
Okay, yeah, send an email, us a file copy.
absolutely.
Perfect.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Yep, thank you.
I can read either way.
We'll move on to the next item under old business, a resolution for reaffirmation of the flood damage prevention ordinance area plan. Mr. Glancy?
Hello. Morning, Commissioners. I'm here to formally request the reaffirmation of the re-signing of the Grant County Flood Damage Prevention Ordinance, also known as the FDPO. This is part of our compliance with FEMA and Indiana DNR requirements tied to the updated floodplain maps and flood insurance regulations. To be clear, this ordinance was originally passed by the Area Plan Commission and voted on by the Board of Commissioners late last year. However, the process was never finalized. The signed copies of the ordinance were never recorded, and there is no version currently in the official file. So what we're doing today is not reopening the ordinance, but simply reaffirming what has already been approved so that we can place it properly on the record to complete the process. So I want to thank this current board, Shane Middlesworth, Ron Stewart, and Chuck Poling, for taking necessary steps to clean this up. It matters to FEMA, to our towns, and to our residents and businesses who rely on the access to the National Flood Insurance Program. I've sent a letter to all the participating, or it's actually an email to all the participating towns asking them to place the ordinance on their next board agendas and review it for signage. And so the deadline to complete all of this and return to FEMA is July 31st of this year. Now, the DNR contacted me about an hour before this meeting. I sent the email on the return. They have some very minor changes, numbering of the maps. And so I just wanted to make you aware of that there may be some very minor changes, but not substantive.
Questions or comments from the attorneys?
What resolution is number this?
Two.
So I have a question real quick, if you don't mind. So, Todd, I'm looking at the email that you're referring to, the one I sent today at 9:29 a.m. So you don't believe that any of the changes from DNR change any substantive material from the previously adopted resolution? Is that what you're understanding?
That's my analysis. He did send one copy back.
Yeah.
We're still kind of going back and forth with copies, but he did have a Word version of ours, and he made the changes, and I compared the two electronically, and
You feel
very little time.
Yeah,
but
but just some definitional changes and then just some map updating, is that correct?
That's correct.
Because it says if need be, you can they can give you an extension too, if you're comfortable with it from that standpoint, that does not materially change the originally adopted one, that I think they can proceed then today, and we can work with you to make sure that DNR has what they need by that July 31st deadline.
Okay. Yes, so I believe that with the time that I've had to be able to review it.
Okay. And then we would just reserve the right, commissioners, that if we review it, understand that Todd has had minimal time to also double check it, that if there is a change that we believe is material, we would request your permission to come back to you and to reach out to DNR to let them know that we would need an extension. But as right now, I think we can move forward with that, if that's okay with you three commissioners.
I agree. I think to me, it looks immaterial as well, and I think I'd like to go ahead and affirm it today, reaffirm it.
You looking for a motion to approve this pending attorney review?
Yeah, I think that'd be satisfactory, Commissioner Stewart.
Second. I have a motion from Commissioner Stewart, a second from Commissioner Poling to approve Resolution 2/2025 pending Commissioner review. I'll just go ahead and read this one as well real quick. A resolution to reaffirm and re-sign the flood damage prevention ordinance previously adopted by the Grant County Board of Commissioners, whereas the Grant County Area Plan Commission held a properly noticed public hearing in 2024 and approved the revised flood damage prevention ordinance, and whereas the Grant County Board of Commissioners subsequently voted to adopt the FDPO, and whereas the signed copy of the ordinance has since been lost and is no longer available in the official record, and whereas the Grant County Board of Commissioners desires to reaffirm and re-sign the ordinance to maintain compliance with the National Flood Insurance Program and the requirement of 44 CFR 60.3. D, now therefore be it resolved that the Grant County Board of Commissioners hereby reaffirm its prior adoption of the FDPO. The attached flood damage prevention ordinance is re-signed and re-entered into the official record as adopted. This action is taken to maintain federal compliance as consistent with Indiana Code IC 36-24. So I have a motion, I have a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion is approved.
And then I'll send, if you don't mind, send it to me, please, sir. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for catching that.
Thank you. We'll move on to new business. I will like to add an item under new business, item 7, RDC appointments. But the first item under new business, BW Construction, the jail project. I believe Dustin and with BW is here to see today.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you? Doing well. Doing well. We're here this morning. We're at kind of a point in the life of the project where we've given some options to the jail committee. We presented on those last month, I believe, and trying to understand and get direction from you all on where our next steps should be. We presented a full estimate to renovate the D home and add a housing pod. I know that the number that came in at was more than I think the county's comfortable with, which is understandable. And so there's numerous options obviously within that. We feel our best path forward is understanding the budget at which you want to stick to and kind of a minimum scope that we could target, and then utilize the previous approved scoping agreement and get full release on that to go into as full design as we can to get the right numbers and bids that we need to make the final decision. So looking for direction from you all.
Yeah, definitely, it's been interesting over the last few months regarding the projects. And, what started out as over 100 million, I think could possibly get trimmed down to 60 million. I think that the majority of the committee, I mean, you may agree that no more than 60 million is probably the target. And so I personally believe that we should continue on with the full scope of designing at no more than the 60 million. Obviously, it's up to the commissioners to decide to spend those ARPA dollars toward the design phase of the scoping, right? And so I would be in favor of supporting that idea moving forward. Just note that the target all in is 60 million. And it could be trimmed down even further.
Yeah, and I think if we fully design the scope, we know a housing pod's necessary as the main need, and finish the design of what we could do in the that's where the biggest contingency is right now is that. At least at that point you have all of the numbers. We can put as many alternates within it as possible and get you 60 million, know what it would be if you wanted to spend 62 or 55. So provides plenty of options for the county to look at.
So you're looking for a motion?
Well, so Mr. President, if you don't mind too, when this process started, the project you guys were given at the beginning of your tenure, the low end was $100+ million. So you've significantly reduced it down by, I think it was $110 million was the low end from DLZ and Envoy. So this is already $50 million, reduced, which I think is an excellent job. And I think that shows from the jail committee's time. One of the things that Dustin did not say, but the jail committee, BW, the commissioners, and sorry, I've gone to the council a few times asking for a dollar amount. It's been approved every time, but I understand there's concerns about it, but with this, are you okay with us proceeding with finalizing the BOT agreement and moving forward to get the, bond process started? Sorry, gosh dang. I'll get one second. $60 million for the bond, just so we can keep this process rolling. So if any motion you make, please include the BOT agreement and the bond, just to keep proceeding on that path. Sorry. That's all, Mr. President. I'm gonna grab some water now if you don't mind. Sorry.
Questions or comments?
Are you gonna redo the dome still? I want to tear that dome apart, huh?
I'm not saying we are. I think the intent would be to design what it would be potentially and give you guys those options. And then if you choose to do it, great. If you choose not to, you at least have the design so you can see what you could do in the future.
So right now, I mean, obviously for the public's knowledge, when you presented at the council meeting, there's about 11% contingencies built in. And so moving to the next step of design is more a low-level approach on nailing down the actual cost. And so the all-in may be 60 million, but like you said, you're gonna break it down to, okay, we just want a pod, laundry, and a kitchen. And we're not even gonna do anything.
That would be our base bid, and then if you had the design for what would be in the D-home, we would go ahead and bid those options out so you know what they are. That way, we have 11% contingency, and I'm confident that every contractor that we have on our team that's looked at this project is also having contingency at this point too, so it's just compounding. So very well, our total project over there could be 66 million. We don't know until we have full design and can go get subs. And speaking from experience locally, I just came from Board of Public Works with the city presenting their fire station. And we had more subcontractor participation in that fire station bid that just bid 2 weeks ago than I've seen in the last 2 years on projects. Like, the market is good from a sub perspective right now. So that is promising for this project, I believe.
And I'm not sure as far as, definitely I want to move forward with the design scope, and I think that even if you don't use the designs, you could, use them later at a future date.
Yep, absolutely. They're your documents to utilize.
Any other questions or comments?
Nope. If you're looking for a motion, I'll make a motion that we approve moving forward with the design request as presented by BW.
Second.
I have a motion from Commissioner Stewart, a second from Commissioner Poling to move forward with the full scope design with BW. As discussed, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll put a plan together and schedule and get that to you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
I'm striking number 2 item under new business from the agenda. We'll move on to item number 3, ARPA request. Mr. Hicks.
Good morning. If I can go back to my report, I forgot to tell you guys that Marion Health has requested that we delay our phase 2 cutover from July 1. We gave them an additional 30 days to make sure their equipment is ready for the new phase 2 system. Under the ARPA request, I am asking for permission to spend my unspent ARPA funds to add another push-to-talk internet device and a signal combiner to our Liberty site. It is my goal to maintain as much control of our system as we can. Adding the second device will allow other agencies to purchase equipment to go on our system. But if it's on our system, then I can maintain control of it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So the quote from AT&T for the $12,385. That's for the actual interface with the FirstNet system. And that would be what directly connects to the radios to put them on our push to talk. The second quote is from J&K Communications, and that is for $9,591, and that's for a signal combiner. And what that does is that allows us to use 2 antennas for multiple radios, so we're not having to drill multiple holes in our huts to allow more water in.
Can you simplify what this will do?
So what this basically does is it allows first responders to be able to communicate on our system from a smartphone, from a device that is internet connected. So they could be in a school on Wi-Fi and contact our dispatch center or talk amongst themselves on our radio system. The sheriff's office could be in Evansville, Indiana, San Francisco, California, New York. As long as they have LTE or Wi-Fi, they can communicate on our system.
Is there, with this technology, I mean, obviously there becomes some policy issues, right? Is there any policies in place to, or will be in place to limit, who has access, what departments can have this technology?
So yes, and that's part of the reason why we are wanting the extra box, so we can control who is on our system and who is not. Marion Health Police Department is very actively seeking push to talk. In fact, they've already acquired a radio to put on that system. We just need the interface to do that. But yes, we absolutely want to maintain 100% control of our system. Absolutely.
And Angie, you believe the dollars are there as far as within ARPA?
All I can tell you is what the balance is, $787,374. Have all of the radios, all the equipment been purchased for the sheriff?
So everything that Mr. Jackson and myself have asked for, we have received. I asked Mr. Hurley from J&K Communications what our unexpended balance was, and it was 600 and some. I believe there was 30-some thousand still left that I hadn't spent out of what was budgeted for J&K Communications. That doesn't include the additional 45,000 that I had asked for incidentals. So,
Mr. Sullivan, with regards to ARPA, there was discussion that we could be able to use, when you created a plan, right? It designated where the dollars were going to be spent with regards to ARPA. Was there any legislation passed where you could spend it on other things?
Mr. President, no, not to my knowledge, and that's, so in addition, I have read, so there was money approved.
Communications
equipment, so this is just an additional, with this, do you think it might be more of a question for Mr. Hicks, the equipment you're trying to acquire now, is it in line with what you already requested stuff for?
It is, and it would be using funds that we have not spent that we've asked for.
I think it would fall within the guidelines.
Yes.
I'm just saying, was there any let's say.
Mr. President, not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
I think after the new administration came in, I think they kind of have just, I don't want to say let ARPA go. I think they're looking to try to go take money back from people that aren't using it properly, but there's not been additional guidance, so unfortunately.
Okay.
At this point in time.
I know when it comes to communication equipment, obviously IT plays a part in that as well. So, I think that any of the dollars that are unspent that have been earmarked for communication equipment, we can make sure that we spend them, right? So if there's anything in the pipeline that you could think of, we may want to nail down that by, is it 26 or?
Yeah, I would say, Mr. President, I think the big thing would be is how we paper up the additional requests so that we can make sure they tie back in writing to what the original request was. And then we can kind of take it by a case-by-case analysis, because I don't think there's going to be a one-size-fits-all with these things. But as you determine that there's funds that have not been used, as long as we feel comfortable that's within the same vein of the original request I think we received, but I don't hesitate giving you a blanket green light, just case by case right now.
Any other questions or comments from the members? Angie, do you have everything? No other questions or comments? I'd entertain a motion to approve the purchase quote with J&K Communications for the amount of $9,591, and the quote with AT&T for the amount of $12,385.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion from Commissioner Pulling, a second from Commissioner Stewart to approve the quotes with J&K Communication as well as AT&T as presented, noting that these is ARPA dollars. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll move on to the next item under new business. Item number 4, zoning map amendment. APC approved this May the 5th, 2025. This is area plan, Mr. Glancy.
Well, good morning again.
Morning.
So I'm here to present 2 zoning map amendments that were reviewed and certified by the Grant County Area Plan Commission following public hearing held in accordance with state law. So there's 2 of them. Docket 004-25 involves parcel 2705-22-400-013.001-027. The petitioner requested a rezoning from ag to light industrial, I-1, to support an expansion of a small-scale food production facility. The property is located near the town of Swayze, and the proposed use is consistent with the nearby general business and industrial zone. Do you want me to continue the other one, or you want to have questions at this point for that particular one?
What's this for? Food, you said?
Yes. So they have a current business in which they're bringing in pork tenderloins, slicing them up, and coating and repackaging and going back out. And so they're wanting to expand that business.
I think we should handle them individually.
I'll say, Commissioner, you can, if you don't mind, you can have them discuss both at the same time if you would like, but they both need to be approved separately.
If you want to go ahead and discuss the other requests as well.
Yes, so the other one is docket 005-25, concerns, the address is 3520 South Central Avenue in Marion. The petitioner requested a rezoning from R3, low-density multifamily residential, to I1 and light industrial. The property currently contains a garage structure and a pre-1900 home that's in disrepair. The owner intends to demo the home and build additional storage building for equipment related to his business. There will be no public access, no office, no retail activity, and no septic or restrooms are proposed. The APC found the request compatible with the surrounding land uses. There are nearby I3 zones and parcels and rail infrastructure, also very local. So both of these rezoning requests received favorable recommendations from the APC and have been properly certified. The ordinance documents for each case are included for your consideration and signature. Once adopted, they'll be recorded in the county recorder's office. Any questions on the second?
Mr. President, so with them both receiving a favorable recommendation, if the Board of Commissioners so choose, The ordinances are adopted and ready to go today individually. And so once you guys would adopt them, they like you say, they would be filed with the recorder's office, which would then cause the APC to amend your zoning map to reflect this ordinance. So if you desire to do so, that the ordinances are ready to go. Mr. Clancy has prepared these, and I think they're legally satisfactory. So if you'd like, Commissioner, I can read them into the record if you'd like.
That'd be great.
Individually then?
Yes,
And I
please.
apologize if I start coughing
And
through,
then
but
the Swayze one's ordinance number 3 then?
No, we're on ordinance number 7.
Number 7, okay.
So the ordinance, number 7, an ordinance amending the zoning map of Grant County, Indiana, whereas the Grant County Area Planning Commission conducted a public hearing on May 19, 2025 pursuant to Indiana Code 36744604 to consider a request to amend zoning map for the property described herein, which is the parcel number, parcel number 27-05-22-400-013.001-027. Whereas the APC, following proper notice and hearing, voted to give a favorable recommendation to the Grant County Board of Commissioners to rezone the subject property. Whereas the APC has certified its recommendation in accordance with Indiana Code 36-7-4-605. And whereas the Board of Commissioners of Grant County, Indiana has considered this recommendation under the authority of Indiana Code 36-7-4-608, and now desires to adopt this ordinance. Now therefore be it ordained by the Commissioners of Grant County, Indiana, Section 1, property affected, the zoning classification of the following described real estate in Grant County, Indiana is hereby amended. Parcel number 27-05-22-400-013.001-027. The address is 2570 South 800 West Swayze, Indiana, 46986. The legal description is any Southeast SEC 222/502A. Section 2 zoning amendment. The above described parcel is hereby rezoned from AG Agricultural District to I assume that's I1, Mr. Quincy, is that correct?
Yes.
Sorry. I1 Light Industrial District as shown in the official Grant County zoning map. Section 3 is the effective date. This order shall be in full force and effect upon its passage, signature of the Board of Commissioners, and proper recording in the Office of the Grant County Recorder. Adopted on this day, which is June 16, 2025. Any questions or comments or concerns, Mr. President?
I have none. Thank you.
Is there a motion?
Nope, you're right.
I'll make a motion that we approve ordinance 7-2025.
Second.
I have a motion from Commissioner Stewart, a second from Commissioner Poling to approve ordinance number 7-2025. Which did receive a favorable recommendation from the Area Plan Commission, as well as they did conduct a public hearing regarding this matter. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
And Mr. President, I believe the next one is going to be ordinance number 8. And so with that, Mr. President, I can read that as well as if you'd like.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Ordinance number 8, an ordinance amending the zoning map of Grant County, Indiana, whereas the Grant County Area Planning Commission, APC, conducted a public hearing on May 5th pursuant to Indiana Code 36-7-4-604 to consider a request to amend the zoning map for property described herein, which will be described later on in the ordinance. Whereas the APC, following proper notice and hearing, voted to give a favorable recommendation to the Grant County Board of Commissioners to rezone the subject property. Whereas the APC has certified its recommendation in accordance with Indiana Code 36-7-4-605, and whereas the Board of Commissioners of Grant County has considered this recommendation under the authority of Indiana Code 36-7-4-608, now desires to adopt this ordinance. Now therefore be it ordained by the Board of Commissioners of Grant County, Indiana, Section 1, property affected, the zoning classification of the following described real estate in Grant County, Indiana is hereby amended. parcel number 27-07-304-013.000-001. Common address is 3520 South Central Avenue, Marion, Indiana, 46953. The legal description is 05-10-2280 PT Southwest SEC 16 .65A. The zoning amendment, section 2, I apologize. Section 2 zoning amendment. The above described property is hereby rezoned from R3 low-density multifamily residential to an I1 light industrial as shown on the official Grant County zoning map. Section 3, this ordinance shall be in full force and effect upon its passage, signature by the Board of Commissioners, and proper recording in the office of the Grant County Recorder, adopted the 16th day of June 2025. Any questions, comments, or concerns, Mr. President?
I have none, thank you.
Thanks, sir.
For a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance number 8-2025.
Second. I have a motion from Commissioner Stewart, a second from Commissioner Poling to approve ordinance number 8-2025. Again, this received a favorable recommendation from the APC, as well as there was a public hearing conducted on May the 5th, 2025. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll move on to the next item on our new business. I'm gonna remove item number 5 from the agenda, and we'll move on to item number 6. The Riggs property discussion. This is, how do I want to say this? This has been ongoing. It's a property out on Garthwaite Road in the apartment. And in a sense, it's one parcel that the county owns, swapping for another parcel that the individual owns, Mr. Riggs. I guess, do we know where we're at with this as far as from the attorney's perspective? Or do we just need a consensus that we want to move forward? I think I'm coming in on the tail end of this. I mean, this is something that Mr. Sadoff was working on. And I guess I really don't know where we stand, but I think that we needed to publicly discuss, do we want to swap the partials? I know Mr. White's already left, but.
Mr. President, I do apologize. I don't want Marty to correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know if Marty and I were exactly aware of this. I know Justin was working on something to this effect. I think that if the Board of Commissioners states that they desire to make this swap, I'm sure Marty and I can figure out what the next process is, and I apologize, Mr. President, we just.
No, I understand.
Is it, I don't think.
That is accurate, Mr. Sullivan. Mr. President, this is the first that I've learned about this. And so we can look into it. As far as a swap, this is where having the RDC can be a benefit. And so we will need to look at different options that the county has to make that transfer the most efficient way as possible. And Mr. Sullivan and I will look into this.
I appreciate that.
I don't know a whole lot about it as well.
Okay.
I make a motion, we just table.
That's fine.
Yeah, I'll second that motion.
I have a motion from Commissioner Poling, a second from Commissioner Stewart to table the Riggs property discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Aye.
Mr. President, I believe Ms. Harker is correct that with RDC, that'll open up a lot more flexibility for how Grant County would like to handle not just this one, but.
That was one of those things we talked about. I think it just slipped my mind. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
The next item under new business, item 7, RDC appointments. We're gonna recommend that Tim Street, Victoria Herring, and myself be appointed to the RDC. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
I have a motion from Commissioner Stewart, and a second from Commissioner Poling to approve the appointments, Tim Street, Victoria Herring, and myself to represent the commissioners on the RDC. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. I believe there is one more appointment that the commissioners have to make, and it's a school.
It's a non-voting advisory member.
Yes.
And the council, Sergeant, I believe is the appoint two, is that right?
Yes.
And so I'll be going to county council Wednesday night to make sure that they appoint two members as well. We have to meet within 30 days once the members are appointed. So, any other items for the good of the order?
That non-voting member, is that, they have to be on the school board?
It's
Is that what I'm
school
understanding?
related.
Correct. I believe it's school board. Is that correct, Mr. Archer?
Yes, school board member.
Okay.
From any of the school boards in the county.
Yeah, if you have anyone in mind, I'll be thinking about it.
Okay.
There's nothing else for the good of the order. We'll be in recess.
Yep, we're going now.
Okay. The recess has ended and I got a little happy here. I'll open it back up for public comment.
My apologies. I missed my window to speak earlier. I had mentioned a prenatal food box program that we were supposed to be starting in July. It's just getting bumped back to August because Gleaners is struggling to schedule the drop-offs. But I didn't want to be called to task for misreporting.
Oh, yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Is there any other public comment? Come to the podium and state your name and your address and.
Good morning, gentlemen. Michael Duke, Grant County. The jail project is coming at us, as we all recognize. I would say and recognize that the jail committee, the judge, the judiciary of the county, the sheriff's department have all been doing good, positive yeoman's work on working to try to, in their steps to reduce or to maintain the situation at jail of overcrowding that's precipitating this jail project coming. But in the last few weeks, as the discussion has been back in the public arena, you've had an issue on the table that was apparently looked like was being rushed through for the reestablishment of the CCD fund that came to a public hearing on May 28th, where that was, in that public hearing that was approved. You had a BW consultants making a presentation to the county council along the line, talking about the different options that the consultant referred to this morning, trying to provide, which the numbers are lower than where they started out at. But nevertheless, there's a jail project there that's all, in their presentation of options, the financial consultant, Oscar, forgive me, I don't remember his last name, but he made a statement to the, I think, members of the council as well as commissioners were here and heard that in their options, there's tax rate alternatives that could be enacted. And his words, if you go back and listen to him, he said, I would recommend that you raise the tax rates to the maximum. All of those kind of things signal to me that there's a tax rate issue that's coming. The council members have made comments about the same thing. There's a need to do the project. I don't disagree that there's a need to do the project. But what I am concerned about is the impact it's going to have on the citizens' wallets as well as your wallets, because you're citizens of the county too. So what I would ask to be kept in view and to be considered by the leadership of the county is that as we're going into the budget cycle here this summer in August and September, that the commissioners and the council exercise leadership with the department heads of all the county offices that will be preparing their budgets, and provide a perspective of frugality, of conservativeness in the development of the budgets, and find a way to reduce the level of the 2026 budgets by 5% against what the 2025 budget rates were. Perhaps by the county tightening its belt and finding a way to reduce budgets, thereby keep rates down, or at least keep them at the same of what they would have been, will give the county an alternative or an option to absorb the new rates of whatever new taxes are coming down the pipe. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other public comment? Come to the podium and state your name.
Good morning.
Morning.
Ed Hartman, 2640 East 1050 South Fairmount, Indiana. I appreciate the way you have been working on this jail project and looking at the design scope and what we really need, instead of just setting a budget of $110 million and let's see how that can be spent. You've looked at it as what we need. That's important. What really do we need? And that we can do this most efficiently and competitively, looking at contractors and subcontractors and how this will work out to the best for our county. Appreciate that. Also appreciate all the work you've been doing, just plain work and cleaning up this county's buildings and doing some remodeling work and making this place a better place for people to actually work, a better work environment. So I thank you for that. I appreciate all you've been doing. And I would like you to have more evening meetings like you had in May, where more people from the community could attend. And you don't have as many employees spending time in meetings here when they could be doing something important on Monday morning. I thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you. Any other public comment? I don't want to hit it too soon. Again, sorry about that. We'll be in recess. Have a good week.